Hey guys, welcome to another recap video from New Zealand's biggest gap year, where a few years ago, Robin and I did an awesome challenge around New Zealand doing 365 activities in 365 days. And on day 198, we go to Lake Tekapo to do a stargazing tour. So check out the video to see what that experience is like. And at the end of the video, join me for going through some of the comments and the questions that you guys were asking during the first time that we published this video for some more in-depth information about this tour. So I'll see you toward the end.
Today we are waking up on the shore of beautiful Lake Tekapo. It is a stunning lake, it is a stunning area, and we are really lucky because today our tour starts at 12 AM, literally at midnight. So we have the entire day to explore the area and just relax and take a bit of time to catch our breath after doing so many activities around New Zealand. During lunchtime, we are receiving a visit from the local residents of the Lake Tekapo Holiday Park. There are a couple of ducks and apparently they are really used to humans and basically feel that they can come inside the camper van to steal our food from us. Laura and I are guarding our food fiercely though, so they are not even attempting to come inside the camper van. Brushing that off, we are now getting ourselves ready to head toward the base of Earth and Sky, which is the company that we are going to be joining for a tour tonight. They are going to take us to the Mt John Observatory, which is a world-renowned area for stargazing as well as an astronomy facility.
Once we arrive at Earth and Sky, we are giving some US Antarctica jackets that actually went to Antarctica. I don't know how cold it's going to get on Mt John, but we are definitely prepared.
I feel like I've been given a massive hug. I don't know if I'm meant to stay awake tonight. I know, I could just fall asleep anywhere with this jacket on.
We then hop onto a bus and make our way to the Mt John Observatory, which actually halfway up the mountain, the bus driver has to switch off the lights so that he is literally driving in the dark to get to the top. He's done this a few times, so I guess he knows what he's doing. We are also given a few house rules of tonight's tour, which involves having absolutely no white light, not even on your camera or your phone. We have to solely rely on these little red torches that we're given from Earth and Sky to see where we're going. That's why it is a little difficult to see the footage that we are bringing you this evening, but I hope you get an idea of what the tour is like nevertheless.
No, let's be honest, our footage is just absolute crap, but you guys are lucky. We're gonna tell you everything that is happening to us, starting with the first part of our tour, which is a naked eye orientation of the night sky. Our guide is pointing us out a ton of different areas, different star clusters, and telling us what they are. Then we are heading towards some telescopes in which we're gonna be able to see some really close-up space objects. And that's really when things start getting super interesting. On top of seeing the Southern Cross really up close, we get to see items that are only seen in the Southern Hemisphere, such as the small and the large Magellan clouds. It's really cool to be able to see those two cloudy patches in the sky, which represent some massive amounts of stars, galaxies, planets, and heaps of potential life. We then move on to the dome telescopes, which are massive buildings built right here in the Mt John Observatory for scientific purposes, but we get a unique access to them to be able to see some even further space objects and see them even more up close. We obviously have a guide right here which is setting up everything for us and telling us how to use them. It's really cool.
We both get a chance to have a look through the dome telescope at some of the oldest objects we're likely to ever see in our lives, including some globular clusters which are 10 to 12 billion years old. We're learning so much at the Mt John Observatory from all the guides here who are actually also trained astronomers. Not only do they actually have all the knowledge, but they're super passionate about what they're doing, and that makes the tour so much better. What happens for the rest of this 2-hour tour is that we're moving between different telescopes and different stations to see different objects of the night sky. And we're in an international dark sky reserve, meaning that these are some of the darkest skies in the world so that we get the clearest views of the night sky.
Each of the telescope has been set up by the team from Earth and Sky just to make sure that we're having the best view of every object that they want us to see. They scout the sky permanently to try to find something different for us to see, so we get to go to the same telescope multiple times and see different objects. They are super high-tech telescope that they control with a bit of a remote, and that's a huge improvement from the really early telescope that they used to use right here in the Mt John Observatory when they first starting to explore the night sky. We get to see them before leaving, and I'm really happy that we got to use the high-tech ones because they look so much better. Back on the bus, we are now making our way back toward our camper van and back toward the Lake Tekapo holiday park with actually stars in our eyes. I did not know that we could see so clearly the night sky and get to see so closely space objects. I am absolutely in awe. That was a unique experience. We saw a massive amount of space objects and constellation and all of that. It was incredible, and yet on camera we can barely show you anything, which is very, very, very sad. So please trust us, there were a lot to see.
Alright guys, I'm going to go through some of the questions and the comments that you guys had from the first time round when we published this video, just so you can get a little bit more information about the tour. Just first things first, when we were doing this tour, the company that did it were called Earth and Sky, but now the company have changed their name to Dark Sky Project, just so that's clear. Now we have a comment from David saying, "Hello, thanks for the great video. I am planning on going there in a month. Which tour did you choose from? The different ones they offer, and do you have any recommendations?" So the tour that we show during this video is the Summit Experience, and this is where they have some of the biggest high-tech telescopes in the area, and it is a tour that happens at the darkest time of the night, so usually heading toward midnight if it is in summer, maybe a little bit earlier in the evening if it is in winter, due to the sunset times that obviously change throughout the year. They do have some different experiences. For instance, they have a daytime experience to just check out some of the different equipment that they have there, for instance, but obviously you're not going to be seeing the night sky during the day. And they also have a crater experience as well, which is taking you to a different observatory, which is sort of it's not really the famous Mt John Observatory, which is kind of more of a bit of a bigger deal that we show in this video. But if you want to take a more, I guess, more intimate, private sort of experience, then they have the crater experience to choose from as well. Okay, we have some Chasing Adeline saying that is so cool. Wazer saying thanks for the video, very informative. Is Lake Tekapo or Mount Cook a better site for stargazing? We are choosing one of the two and want something that is more comprehensive. So in terms of the quality of the stargazing, it's very, very similar between going to Lake Tekapo and Mount Cook. They're both within the Dark Sky Reserve. That is part of the, the Mount Cook Dark Sky Reserve. They both offer very high-tech telescopes and equipment to do stargazing at both of these tours. I found that Mount Cook had a bit of a smaller tour group compared to Lake Tekapo, so maybe that's a factor that you want to consider. But I think both of them are such similar experiences that I would sort of take this decision on what else you want to do in the area. For instance, in Mount Cook, there's more hiking opportunities or more scenic flights, for instance, whereas in Lake Tekapo, you have things like hot pools and some, scenic photo stops like the Church of the Good Shepherd. So you might want to, factor in which one you want to go for, depending on what other activities are available in the area. And if you want to see what activities are available, then you can head over to nzpocketguide.com. We have tons of articles listing all the amazing things to do in both Aoraki Mount Cook and Lake Tekapo, so make sure to go check out the website for more information. We have Ash Schumann saying, nice video. Do they also take pictures for you with their own astro camera? Because even the iPhone 11 cannot take photos shown in this video. So from our experience when we were doing the tour, they were only taking people's DSLR cameras if they had them. They weren't, they weren't taking photos for other people that didn't have the right camera equipment. So as far as I know, the answer to the question is no, they wouldn't take photos for you. But I mean, you can always ask to see if they do. It's just not what we observed happening during the tour. We have Atharath saying, does this activity always happen late at night at 12 a.m. or does it have an earlier slot in the evening as well? So in order to have the best stargazing experience, they take you at the time of their night, which has the darkest skies, which tends to be around midnight. So it does tend to be, yes, it has to be usually a late one for these tours. They do tend to have earlier tours, but only in winter because sunset is much earlier in the evening. So you can start the tour a little bit earlier during winter. So bear that in mind if you do want to come and do some stargazing in Lake Tekapo. Winter is also a really good time of the year to do that. We were doing this tour during summer, so that's why we ended up going on this tour quite late into the early morning, late evening. Vicky says, can you see stars clearly without the camera? Yes, actually you can see the stars better than what your camera can really. And also they obviously have all the telescope equipment as well. So, and they're also a very, the tour company there are really sort of strict on making sure that the lights and the artificial lights are all controlled really well so that your eyes can adjust to the darkness and see the stars as clearly as possible. So, yeah, so usually your vision is really good to see the stars just with the naked eye. But then obviously, yeah, you get the telescopes, which hones in on some more, you know, on particular clusters and interesting things to see. So yeah, it tends to be better than what you will see in a camera. And is there anything else? It's we've got Tahiti saying, can you see the stars like this which have pictures shown by the naked eye, or do we have to go to the telescopes? If we do not take the guided tours, can we just be in Lake Tekapo to see the stars? Yes, by all means, you don't have to take a tour to see the stars in Lake Tekapo. Bearing in mind that Lake Tekapo is a small village, so there's lots of artificial lights which will sort of, you know, so make the stargazing not as good. So it's best if you are planning on doing stargazing in that area to just drive out of town a little bit. There's lots of sort of roadside stops that you can go and park up, and that way you'll get a better stargazing experience. But then again, always remember that your better stargazing experience is going to happen sort of at midnight and also, you know, away from artificial light. So you need to let your eyes adjust for a little time as well. So you need to also be patient. We do have articles on nzpocketguide.com giving you more tips for stargazing in New Zealand. So make sure to head over there for more information. And if you do have any comments or questions of your own, you can put them in the comment section below, or you can join us for one of our live Q&A sessions, which we do every single Sunday at 8 a.m. New Zealand time. Make sure you subscribe and click on the notification bell so that you get a notification when we go live. All right, guys, I will see you in the next video.